This is the DAD model 600. This DAD 600 is 600 watts, which is 3/4 horsepower. Very similar to Gast and Thomas competitive versions. It's a permanent split capacitor motor. It's a double shaft motor. It is a single winding motor. Again, permanent split capacitor. Comes with the run winding is wired into to one side of the inlet, and then of course then the power wires and the ground wire on the other side. It's very similar double head, double piston type design as the competitive units. It's dual head, dual valve plate system. The pistons run off of an eccentric that they basically just run very similar to other types of reciprocating compressors. Primary difference between this style of compressor and the Gast compressor is that this compressor uses full flat valves that are sealed valves. These are constant sealed valves, meaning on the inlet side and on the exhaust side. The difference there between this type of valve system versus the Gast system, if you notice on the Gast system, the exhaust valve is a flat valve, but the inlet valve, the intake valve on the Gast compressor is purposely bent into a partially open position. And what this does, it allows the compressor to vent air back to the atmosphere after the compressor shuts off. That's great for starting a compressor under a no load situation from a previous run cycle, but it's a fairly inefficient design because it means that every time the piston rises in the bore, you got to produce enough volume of air that's going to escape past the valve until the valve is forced into a closed position before it starts making pressure. So on each stroke that the compressor comes up, every time the piston comes to the bottom and quits making pressure against this valve, the valve will spring back open again, allowing the next intake charge to come in. But that is inherently inefficient because you're wasting a lot of air back through the intake when you really need to be putting that air into the air hose. So this style of compressor uses a full flat valve system. And the way we set the unit up with to be able to exhaust the pressure from a previous run cycle is through our freewheel unloader valve. Freewheel unloader valve is basically a system, it's a diverter valve system that allows when the compressor runs, it comes on, fills the air hose. Once the air hose is energized to, in this case, in this valve, to 90 pounds, the valve then switches over into the cutout stage and vents all the additional volume of air back to the atmosphere. So with this type of compressor, every stroke of the piston, every stroke of the compressor is making air, but it's either going to go down the air hose or be vented back. It also allows that when you stop the compressor, the head remains unloaded. The difference here is that the compressor runs unloaded, means that it's not making heat, it's not making pressure on every stroke once the valve has been charged. The compressor freewheels, but it's a very efficient design because you use a flat valve system to make sure that all the volume that the compressor can produce is available when it's time to push air into the compressor. The DAD 600, standard type of unit, one inlet port, one exhaust port, and then of course the standard type unit is to other types of twin cylinder type of compressor. There we are.